Welcome to Make Pods Great Again. I'm your host, John Woolley, content creator for the Instagram page Make Wads Great Again. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm here with Nikki. Nikki, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, and I've got my friends, the Panchiks, on tonight. Scott and Kristen, how you guys doing?
Hey,
We're good.
We're good.
Welcome.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys, and it's been since Wadapalooza, I guess. I was thinking about that today. It was the last time I saw Kristen anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute since.
Aren't you guys kind of neighbors?
Kind of, I guess. I mean, they're in Menor, which is like, for me, it's like 35 minutes or so away, but
Well,
nobody-
in fairness, we've all been locked into our houses for the last month, so.
We haven't seen much of anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's about it.
Seriously. How's that quarantine life going for you Panchiks?
Quarantine life is a bit lonely,
Mm-hmm.
but at least we have one another. And I'm getting like good insight on like what a child's gonna be like with being around my dog all day. I've never realized how needy my dog is.
He was going nuts today. He's like, I need some space from the dog. I was like,
She loves too hard. She loves too hard. It's too much.
I feel like that is only going to get worse. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a parent, but
All she wants to do is eat and play. I'm like, whose dog are you? I was like, I like to eat and work out. All you want to do is eat and play. But it seems like we don't tend to sync. When I want to eat, she wants to play. When she wants to play, I'm trying to eat.
We are lucky though, because our like garage gym is separate from our house. So like when one of us needs like some time or space, like, all right, I'm going out to work out, and it's like separate from the house. So it's a little bit of a break, I feel like. So that's been helpful.
And Nikki,
you haven't said that you need a break from each other yet, which is ideal.
I feel like we're used to spending like our days together anyways, because we're at the gym together every day, all day. So we're pretty much used to like sharing our time and space all the time anyways. So that hasn't really
And
changed.
tackling like a lot of things together.
Yeah.
From just the business side of things, especially.
Yeah.
well, you guys have a kind of a fantastic home gym, which I'm sure helps. Which, people listening are like, oh, he's games athlete. Of course they do. It's not true. Like I was talking to Veldner the other day. He's got like 2 dumbbells and they're mismatched. You can't even make this up. I'm like, dude, you were on the podium like 2 years ago. You have 2 35-pound dumbbells at your entire home gym. He's like, yeah.
Aww.
Like, poor guy. Start ordering stuff.
That was like a necessity for Scott when we were looking for houses. We like went to look at this house and we walked in the front door. He didn't look at anything in the house. He walked right out the back door into the garage and was like, you think I could do muscle ups in here? He's like doing all the things.
And then after we got the house, her dad came over and helped me cut basically a hole in the ceiling. I got a custom made rig put in from Brian Bess, who does some like steel work, and I could do like rope climbs and ring muscle ups and pretty much anything out there. So they hooked it up. So
That's awesome.
training hasn't changed, but
Yeah.
That's good. Gives you the advantage over the others. That's for sure. I think a lot of people are struggling with this whole home workout thing. I just, I'm lucky I've got everything here, but I keep getting video after video after video of people, sending me, them doing a bazillion burpees or, they have 1 dumbbell. So they're doing single arm thrusters all day long. It's, everybody's going to come back with 1 arm that's huge and 1 arm that's tiny, It's going to be great.
I just feel like it's been cool because on the one hand, it's like, obviously you don't need a lot to be fit. And I think that's been proven. And I think it's huge that people are like still moving and still in quarantine and we're elevating the importance of fitness. But like, I'm getting bored of variations of Cindy. You know what I mean? And I'm lucky because I still have access to all the stuff, but still like, if I'm home and in my garage or stuck, whatever, it's a little bit boring when you don't have all the things. We're just excited. We're CrossFitters. We're excited about like bar muscle ups. We're excited about like rope climbs and having space for shit and a million different weights. So you can have 4 bars set up to do all your things. Like it's just,
Yes.
and that's definitely been something challenging, is creating workouts for people that are at home with such a wide range of equipment being available to people, and just some have a little, some have a lot, and you're trying to program everything in between.
Yeah. I mean, how's the gym doing? Like, what are you doing right now for your members?
Yeah. So what we decided to do is we created a couple different like membership packages. So we basically put everyone at a at-home membership price and gave everyone a weighted implement and a jump rope to take home with them over the course of, however long this is going to be. And then gave people a week later, we gave people the ability to come back in and kind of upgrade to 2 different packages. So one included like a box, a med ball, kettlebell, and like a few other implements. And then another package included like a barbell or a rower or a bike or some type of machine that they could take. Mm-hmm. And I think it was good because some people, utilize the cardio equipment a little bit more. Others are like, I want a barbell and some plates. Mm-hmm. And then like, okay, I'll follow the Zoom classes, which is what we do. We do 1 in the morning, 1 at night. We record them, put them online. So people, if you miss them somewhere in between, you can go on and watch them. And then we kept all of our coaches working and just gave them, basically took the time that they were coaching in the gym and designated that time towards them creating, we have one group making warm-ups, one group doing like demos, and then we have like a little finisher that we do. And then our head coach, he's been running the class in the morning at 8 a.m. and then in the evening at 5 p.m. And then Wednesdays, I do like a power hour. We do yoga on Thursdays, kind of like what would you call it? Like a yin?
There's 2. There's like one that you can do like a hit and stretch, and then the other more like restorative. So those are pre-recorded. So on Thursdays, people can watch those.
Cool.
And then I created like a program that is for limited equipment that people can follow. And then I also program like things that I would put in the gym for people that have access to everything. Bars, like there's some people that just have home gyms available, kind of like John, that are able to go out and do those things. So trying to just kind of give everybody options to keep moving and stay healthy. But programming for the body weight stuff starts to get a little challenging. But I kind of like I told Christin, I kind of like the challenge of like trying to figure out how to make it exciting and fun and interactive. And it was different. And I think, for us as CrossFitters, we like unknown and maybe not for too long.
No, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Like this past week, I was like, I don't know how many more weeks I can write workouts. I'm running out of ideas.
No, so much for like quarantine downtime. It sounds like you're freaking busier than ever. You've got like 14 new programs to like. Everyone gets a program, and you get a program, and you get a program.
We definitely are, and it's we are working probably harder than we were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think it's also taught us a lot about, who we are and why we do what we do. And when we were making the decision to like send equipment out, it was like, I am like, if you saw me with equipment in the gym, like everything has a space. I'm like, wipe it down, keep it clean.
Put the handles up.
And to let that stuff go out the door, I was just like scratching my face. I'm just like, I'm going to lose it. But I just had to like remind myself, like, this is why we do what we do. Like, since we opened the doors in 2013, we were preparing people for really this day.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know it was going to hit everyone, obviously. And it's just, they talk about the health continuum and us being the fittest that we can possibly be, so that when adversity and sickness or disease or anything like that comes, we're prepared and we're ready. And we know how to continue exercising. And 2, we're the healthiest we've ever been, so that, if we aren't able to work out the way we usually do, or aren't like moving around as much as we normally do, we're not going to fall too close to that sickness side of things. And I think the people that are trying to figure out how to exercise now on their own, those people are struggling, and they're not in good shape to begin with because they haven't been doing it. So we've at least built like these routines for people, and they know how to squat, they know how to press, they know how to pick things up from the ground. And, I told them, when this all started, I said, you guys are now the leaders in your houses, in with everyone, and everyone that you come in contact with, like share these things with them, because like we need to be that positivity right now, because there's not a lot of it floating around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough time. I'll tell you what I've been doing. This is how petty I've become. So I have nothing to do around here, right? Like I can't leave the house. So I'm working out twice a day, right? And I'm killing myself to make sure when they reopen the gyms, I can go back and beat all those 20 somethings that don't have all the same equipment I do. That's my only goal. Yeah, it's my only goal. I'm just going to be so petty. Like the first day, I'm going to go old school and shout time as soon as I finish the WOD.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Write your time in chalk really big on the floor so everyone can see it.
Right in the middle. It's going to be fun. I'm going to come to every class the first day. Just have my name up there like 6 times.
Yes.
I love it.
It's going to be all. I have been, like, truthfully though, like to your point, Scott, like I'm obviously very familiar with your programming, and Saxon and Spencer are very similar. And so we do a lot of muscle ups. So at home, I've been doing a ton of strict pull-ups and ring dips just to get ready, because I can't do muscle ups here. Like I'm in a basement. So, I don't want to crack my head on the ceiling. So,
oh, you don't want the custom roof cutout like Scott has?
well, if I did that, then I'd be doing muscle ups into the living room.
There you go. Sounds great. I don't hear a problem with that.
Yeah. Head pop up, watch TV for a second, come back down. It'd be great.
Cat would love
Your
it.
cat would be like, what is
Oh my God, Bean would lose his mind.
I'm not sure Mira and Megan would like it either, but I have been, like, I feel like I've been, like, ingrained because of you and the boys, and in what's coming. Like I know what's coming, so I'm trying to prepare myself for that, but I'm already prepared to do what I need to do now. And so, to your credit, I think that's really, fantastic what you're doing with your gym. And you were one of the first ones I saw that did that. I think, like, you led the way to a lot of other gyms doing what you just described. My opinion. I could be wrong on that. But
I think it's really scary as an affiliate owner to ship out, thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment.
Yeah.
And just wondering, like, is it going to come back? Is it going to be in one piece? And, at the end of the day, like, if you trust, if you've built the community the way that it should be built, the people are going to, they already know how to take care of your equipment. They're going to take care of your equipment because they're so thankful. And I think it'll keep them excited to come back. And like you said, maybe show you, like, hey, I've been rowing on this machine every day, and like I'm someone's butt today on this rower or on this bike, or look at my snatch, it's improved. I had a barbell and I was able to do drills with it. And I think, like, those little things are what are keeping people moving and exercising and having, fun in this time.
For me, like, the only thing I would be worried about would be no one's gonna like break anything, like no one's gonna like ruin anything beyond repair, but like you just don't know, like, if people have barbells and plates that they take home, like, and they're snatching or cleaning or deadlifting in their driveway, like, you know what I mean? Like, just the ground is really abrasive, and like, are you handing out stall mats with this stuff? Like, that's what if I were an affiliate owner, that's where I'd be like, no one's gonna like snap my rower in half. Like, I know it's gonna come back, I'm gonna clean it, it's gonna be fine. But like little things like that would drive me. And for you, because I know you're very particular about those things.
I talked to them about it. I laid some very strict rules down, but we've also been, I don't want to say lucky, because we are not lucky to have the weather that we have right now, but it's so nobody's taking their barbell out into the driveway. If anything, they're in their basement or in their garage, and they're doing what they can.
Yeah.
But Nikki, let me tell you how particular Scott is. This is absolutely true story. You'll love this, Scott. So I got invited to be in the Zoom workout the other day with some affiliate out in, I think it was Washington. And so I had to be in my basement. And so I took my laptop down there and I sat it on I have a plyo box. So I sat on the plyo box, which is, 20, 24 inches high. And so I'm like, I got to be able to look into the screen. Like, I need something to sit on. And so I'm looking around for something to sit on, and I see my medicine ball, and I'm like, I just pause for a second. I'm like, well, I can't sit on that because Scott will yell at me.
Oh,
That's his thing. You could not sit on the med balls at Mentality, or you'll get smacked around.
I tell them, I walk up and I'm like, do you want to throw a flat med ball up against the wall and do big sets, 20, 30 reps with a flat med ball? And they're like, And they,
Mm.
I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Scott, you have got like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Like you are so ready to be a dad. Like you're there, man.
I'm very good at that. I'm not mad. I'm
not mad, but do you want a flat wobble? I'm just wondering.
I just, if you do, then just keep sitting on it. But
Yeah, and then you're fine.
Scott's been 45 years old now for the last 20 years.
That's my dad. That's all from Papa P.
It's true, yeah.
My dad has taught me well.
How's Papa P holding up?
He's doing well. I think he's getting a little stir crazy though.
Lots of projects.
He's got a lot of projects going on, and the last time I talked to him, he was working on a bike path or like a little running path for my niece and nephew, and he's just excited to work on different projects.
He's also inspired Scott to do the same. So Scott has also started building a 400-meter trail around our property.
How do you build a trail?
He went out.
Rake.
We don't have like a ton of tools, but he took a rake and like tree
trimmers,
cutters, and that was it.
That's
and he was
much it.
just like raking and
Shovel.
cutting things and carrying like old logs that had been cut. And he had like lined this like.
I got I'm probably about 150, I would say 150 meters out.
I think so, yeah.
About 150 meters out. So
it's pretty legit.
My elbow started bothering me, and like, hey, you need, because it was already giving me some problems. He's like, you need to take some time off. So I'm like, oh, I'll start this path. And I told him what I was doing. He's like, that's not taking time off. He's like, that's the worst thing you can do for your elbow right now is be making this path. So that's put on hold right now for the time being.
I'm just wondering, when you're out there making that path, do you have like your thick white New Balance sneakers on with like your tall white socks and like your crew neck hoodie? Like, just wondering.
It's like a denim button up, some like cargo pants.
And then I got these like
and muck boots.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wear my muck boots.
Wait, can I hold on? Can I tell you a very short muck boot story?
Trail, like kind of like trail boots / shoes that are pretty comfy for out there too.
Do you have muck boots?
Oh yeah.
John, do you
Yes.
have muck boots?
Oh, of course.
Okay. You say of course like it's a thing. Like I didn't know it was a thing until I lived in Maine, because they're like the thickest, rubberiest, like most insulated boots on the planet, and they're not cute. Back me up on this.
No, they're not cute.
No.
Right. So this was real quick, 6 years ago maybe. I was living in the middle of Maine, and I was a TV news anchor and reporter, and I was like in the snow constantly being like, it's -20 out here, back to you guys, like the worst job ever. So every time I would report in a snowstorm, my like toes would get so cold they would feel like they were falling off. And one year for Christmas, I asked very nicely for gold earrings from my husband, who was then my boyfriend or fiance at the time, I can't remember. And I like found them, like sent him the link. Like I was like, these are nice, want them for Christmas. And I get to Christmas and I open up this big giant box, and there are bright pink muck boots in them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And I was
muck boots.
I was so mad. I was like,
Cute.
all I wanted was gold earrings. It was the only thing I asked for. And then like one day into work, I was like, oh, these are the greatest things I've ever owned. So I appreciate that you're making your path in your dad outfit plus muck boots. Excellent.
Those are the Christmas gifts I get from her family.
I grew up on a farm.
All like
so,
farm stuff. So I get like muck boots, I get gloves.
Yep.
Cool.
Same. My husband also grew up on a farm, so like that's the life he knows. And I'm like, I'm from Boston. Listen, what's a muck? I don't understand.
Right. What are these
funny.
So go ahead, John.
No, go ahead, Nick. You're good.
Oh, I was just going to ask about, as you're prepping your 400-meter loop and you're getting used to being at home, how is getting ready to become parents?
It's exciting. So Christin went in for an appointment. I was like, what, a week and a half ago? 2 weeks?
Probably 2 weeks ago.
And I wasn't allowed to go in, so I sat in the car inside and waited for her. And she came out, and they gave her a Doppler device, which was like really, really cool to like bring home and be able to listen to the baby's heartbeat, which
cool.
We hadn't heard kind of together. I mean, I guess first ultrasound, but I don't think
You
we were really
see
able
it,
to
but you
hear.
couldn't like hear it.
Yeah, you couldn't hear it. So we were able to hear it, which was really cool. And she'll utilize that along with, would she give you a blood pressure cuff?
Yeah. So like I'll go in for my next appointment. May 5th is like an anatomy scan. So like I'll get to see everything. And then the appointment after that is virtual. So they've already like scheduled out my appointments until July, most of them being virtual, unless they're like ones I have to go in for.
Mhm.
Like,
I didn't really think about that. Like I didn't even, because when you're pregnant, you need to be checked on and you got tests running and like.
so they check on me like every 4 weeks, and the virtual appointments, they'll just like want me to take my blood pressure and check the baby's heart rate, and that's kind of it.
But we'll find out the sex of the baby May 5th.
Yeah.
Did you tell the doctor it's a 99.9% chance it's a boy? and that the name will start with an S. I mean, that's,
I was wondering, I was like, I wonder who in our family is going to keep that tradition alive. I don't think it'll be me, John. It's just,
how you feel about Seamus Panchik or
It's a good one.
Shaquille? That's a good one. There's so many good S names you guys haven't used yet.
my parents were getting pretty creative there at the end with Saxon, and it's like Spencer. I've heard Saxon's like I had never heard that before. That was pretty unique.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
All the
But
S's.
we'll see. We'll do a gender. We'll probably do like a Instagram live or some type of like
gender
reveal once we figure it out.
Do you have a prediction?
I don't know. At first we thought it was a girl, but now we think it's a boy. So like
I keep saying it's a boy.
He keeps calling it a he.
I don't know why.
And so does everyone in his family, but I think that's because most of his family are boys.
They're used to it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I am just praying you have a girl because I have two girls for one, which is.
Part of me feels like it will be just for that reason.
Sometimes
I really did think it was a girl at first, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to.
But yeah, we're excited. It's just all the feelings. You kind of just it doesn't feel like. I mean, for me, it doesn't feel real yet. I'm sure her body's starting to feel real.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure you just saying that makes her want to punch you in the face.
Well, she tells me, she's like, in the morning, I'm good. At the night, I'm pregnant.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
So.
It has been kind of actually nice being home. Like when we are at the gym working, I am the most tasky person in the world and feel like I have to be there like all day long to get stuff done, and Scott will literally have to kick me out of the gym to go home. Mm-hmm. Especially like when I was in my first trimester, I would like finish coaching and he'd be like, go home. But now it's been nice, like we have to be home. So if I need to chill out, like I'm home and I can chill out. So that's been kind of like a nice part of being home. But at the same time, like all of our members saw me and like didn't know I was pregnant. And now when we go back, they're gonna be like, "You're really pregnant.
You are huge."
They get like no transition time. They know like Christin pre-pregnancy, and they're gonna see like real pregnant Christin.
Real pregnant. Yeah.
She says real pregnant.
No. You're the kind of lady that looks like you're smuggling like a watermelon under your shirt.
A watermelon, I don't even know about that yet. We're not at that point. Like
eventually, but just like a little all belly, like the rest of you still looks the same. From the behind, you still look the same. Yeah,
that's the ideal.
Yeah, totally. You know, I didn't even think about the whole like, you know, obviously being task oriented, having a lot to do and running your gym, but you know, getting to be home or being forced to be home together right now, when you know you might have otherwise, Scott, been traveling to train and you've been training with the Mayhem guys and gals, or, you know, traveling to other competitions, sanctionals right now. What is it like for you, you know, with the change of pace and change in competition season too, having to be home?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really have a off season this year. Like we came back from the games and with the new open, I talked my teammates into doing the open again. And we did that. And then right after, I mean, we got into some sanctioned events. We were out in London for Strength and Depth. And then a month later, we were at Wadapalooza. And we had really kind of a full schedule set up. We were supposed to be getting ready to head out to.
You're supposed to go to California.
Oh yeah, for the
West Coast Classic.
Classic, and then we had Rogue, and then we were looking to go to Madrid. So we had kind of a full schedule, and to have this time right now, I think is good, especially for me. I think like having just like a month or two to just kind of bring things down a notch. And it's not that I'm not training. I'm just focusing a little bit more. I am doing more body weight stuff and trying a lot of the workouts and things that I'm programming for our gym. I always try to, try things before I give them to our clientele. I always tell them that I'm the rough draft and they get the final copy.
Nice.
But it's been nice. So I've like kind of slowed down on the intensity side of things. And I think that'll be good for my body. I've been able to focus on a little more stretching. I had a couple little things that were bothering me, but like not to the point where like I would usually stop because I'm like, oh, I got to get ready for this event. I got to do that. And those over time can start to become a big issue. So, these last like 2-3 weeks, I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I feel great and I'm ready to hit the ground running here come May. So it's been nice. It's been nice, especially like being home with Christin and being able to like go out and get food and take care of her and help her out during this time. And just being around, her body's going through a lot of different changes right now. And, she's having, days where she's feeling good, days where she's not. And I want to be here for that. I don't want her to have to go through that alone. So it's been nice.
Yeah. It's almost like being forced to slow down, being forced to really just be in the moment, which is difficult sometimes to accept. And I kind of, not nearly on the scale of you two, but I do kind of understand it only because the sanctional season was going to be like a lot of travel and a lot of being away from home and a lot of this and that. And I do have a little bit of sadness and like not being at the events and seeing you in real life. And, we only get to like catch up with these people that we know and love through this sport at these very specific points in time throughout the year. But like it has been nice that I don't have FOMO because it's not like I'm missing it. Like we're all home. We're all slowing down.
Yeah.
I think it's been good for all of us. Like I keep making the joke. I told somebody the other day, I'm like, is this how my shoulder's supposed to feel? Like it feels great. Like I can't wait to get back to CrossFit for this to hurt again every day. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I think I really do that the last couple, weeks or this past month, people had a chance to slow down. Life was really, really moving at a fast pace. And I think a lot of people are probably enjoying their time at home. Like I said, I'm sure like you got to find for yourself during that. And I think it's like right at the beginning, a lot of people were like, I need to find a schedule. I need to find time for me to get away, and then also time to like enjoy with your kids and your husband or your wife or whoever it might be. And I think that some of the noise and all the other things that are going on and all the projects that we're like, oh, I'm gonna eventually get to this, or I'm gonna get to that. Like we're like finally able to like do some of the things, and I think it's good for them.
It is like the little things. I mean, even during the week, Scott coaches the last class of the day at the gym, so he's typically not home until sometimes like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So usually it's hard for us to eat dinner together or not be eating something on the go. So it sounds so silly, but like just us being able to sit down and have dinner together more regularly
at a reasonable time
before like 9:30 at night has been really nice.
Yes, it is the exact same in my house too. We like don't eat dinner before 9 because like we're going to the gym late and then I'm coaching later. And then by the time we get home, and we're like eating, like I can hear him making dinner downstairs right now. It's wild. It's wild.
And it's like, so it seems so simple that like, oh, you eat dinner together. Yeah. Every day. But like that's not the schedule that we have normally. Yeah. So right now we're kind of enjoying being able to eat dinner together.
The little things in life.
It's taught me like all the things that I have been putting off for years because I thought I was too busy. And all of a sudden I have this, quote unquote free time. I think it was like maybe a year ago or so. You'll like this, Christin. You posted a video on Instagram of you playing guitar and you were playing Blackbird by the Beatles. And I love that song. I've always loved that song. And I mean, I've played guitar since I was 12 but I've never found the time to learn it ever. And so, you know, when this quarantine hit and they're like, you can't leave the house, I'm like, I'm going to learn Blackbird. Took me 2 hours.
Aw.
2 hours.
Of
I was
course.
so mad. I was so mad at myself though, because I've put this song off for a decade. And then
Yeah.
like I learned it like super quick. And so I think I've learned that all those things that I've been putting off over and over and over, like I need to just reprioritize my life. And like, you know, if there's something out there I want to do, I'm just going to go try it. You know, like why run in to go do an assault bike wad when I can maybe skip that one and go play guitar for a couple hours, you know?
Yeah.
Or find a way to do both. I don't know. But, I just think, I hope that people learn to reprioritize and understand that the pace we were running at, we can't continue to run at forever. It's unsustainable.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree
I love
more.
that. Yeah.
So guys, there's like just one bazillion things up in the air in terms of what the rest of the season looks like, what the rest of even like what the summer looks like alone. What would be, if you could have it any way, like if you could wave your Harry Potter wand and magic the season the way you want it to be, what do you kind of hope, or what would you choose the rest of the CrossFit Games season in 2020 would look like?
I think right now they're struggling to figure out what it needs to be and what it should be. Obviously us as athletes, we want to compete, and that's what we know. That's what we do. That's our job. Just like people want to go back to work to, because it's who they are and what they do. We want to be at some type of game or some type of event. What it's going to look like, I have no idea, but I just would like to see them bringing the athletes in and crowning the fittest on earth, fittest team and fittest group of individuals, and however they need to do that in the safest way possible for, us and their staff and the volunteers that are coming in for it. I think, they will come up with it. They're a very, very smart group of people that are working hard, I think, to figure that out. And I'm almost glad they're taking some time to really look at all their options and all their resources. And I think that whatever they come up with will, lead us in the right direction. And I'm excited to get back to work too. I want to get back in the gym. And I think that our gyms are a huge essential business.
Yeah.
To keeping people healthy and fighting this thing. And I think that, there is a way to do it safely. Obviously the only 100% effective way to avoid anything is to stay at home. And I think, people have that right. Stay at home. And then if you feel okay and safe and you're able to abide by whatever guidelines are put out, then, I'd love to see, gyms opening back up and, events, being put on. And, I know that spectators and people being there is, going to be a challenge this upcoming year. And, that's definitely that feeling when you walk into a stadium and see all those people like that. I mean, that's, as a kid growing up, like I always said, I was like, I want to be a professional athlete. I want to run into a stadium full of people. I always thought I was going to be a football player.
Right.
I never thought it would be for, doing squats and burpees that really fast. But, I think that, as us as athletes, we will miss that. But I think they'll create something that gives people that same, feeling and that same experience at home. And for us, we're competitors. And most of the time, like you see the people when you run out, but like as soon as it's 3, 2, 1, go, what do they call these? The blinders.
Yeah.
And you just are focused on what you're doing. So perfect world. I'd love to see the teams and individuals, crown the fittest man, fittest woman, and fittest team on earth. I would be happy.
I know. I didn't even.
With your teens and masters and everybody else as well.
Of course. Of course, like the first time, we get to see you on a team and maybe with the team that was going to get to the top of the podium again. I mean, Mayhem is like this iconic team and it was so exciting to hear you joining up with them. And I mean, of course, it's like now this stuff hits the fan and you're like, oh man, how's that going to work? And what's going to happen? I mean, that's just kind of a bummer in general, I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I think in time, things are going to continue to get better.
Yeah.
And that, that's kind of the mindset that I have, is that, my fitness, I'm still working hard every day. And I know my teammates are, and I know all the athletes around the world, they're training hard. Even Patrick Vellner, who only has his 2 dumbbells, like John said, I guarantee I saw him doing presses with that dumbbell in a band, making it harder. So like, sin is sin. Don't be fooled. So these athletes will all come out of this strong. And honestly, if I'm feeling this way, John's feeling this way, I'm sure a lot of us are feeling this way. Things have slowed down. We're giving our bodies a little bit of a break, and it really, you could see a lot of great things come from a month of athletes being forced to rest and recover. We're not great at hitting the pause button. I'll be the first one to say, my training partner Fee, I was like, I'm like, this past week I've been taking it easy, and I sent her my workout. She's like, you're not taking it easy. And I was like,
I'm
not taking it easy. And she's like, you don't know, take it easy. And I was like, I really don't. But
neither does she.
But neither does she, yeah. But things like, we are being forced to slow down, and we're not doing all of the things, and we're not competing, and we're not in this like mindset now where like, hey, I got to be ready for next month, or I got to be ready for this or that. It's allowed us to focus on ourselves and mentally, I think, probably that would be the side of things that I think these athletes all could use a little just mental break from everything. And I think it'll create a lot of excitement. Just like members getting back in the gym, you're going to see these athletes just hungry to get on the floor.
You guys are going to be so hungry when you're
ready to go.
So
it's going to be
when we are able to compete and do things, it will be very exciting. I think you'll see a lot of great things come from it.
Well, I'm excited for you, Scott. It feels so weird, like kind of seeing where you've come from. I was thinking the other day, 2020 Scott would kick 2011 Scott's butt.
For sure.
At any competition ever, and so I know we'll get past this like tiny little moment in time. Like this is going to be a couple more weeks, and then we'll all be back to it. They may put some sort of limitations on us in the gym, and that's okay. We've got to do smaller class. I'm actually good with smaller classes. Like I don't like the big classes, so the smaller the better. But yeah, I'm excited to see you guys get back on it for sure.
Yeah. You've been with me since we started, or since I started, at least competing wise. I joined Distinction when we were out there. That was what, 2000, my first year.
Yeah.
2012.
It's it's crazy. Nikki, we had this coach who was insane. It probably is insane. I haven't talked to her in years, but Scott would come rolling in there, and he'd have this, in those days, like CrossFit wasn't what it is now. I would call this pre-sponsored Scott. So he'd come in, his shorts didn't say Panchik on them, so he'd come in and
they were from Gabriel Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Come in his gym shorts, and he'd have his big, gallon of water, and a big milk jug. And this coach of ours, Regina, was real strict, and she loved to yell, and she'd yell the most horrible things ever. She would yell at me. This is absolutely true. Like, as long as I live, I'll never forget this. I'm doing push-ups. And I wasn't quite the specimen then that I am now, right? So
I don't believe that.
It's absolutely true. I know. So I'm doing push-ups, and they looked horrible. Like my hips are sagging, and I'm, hitting the floor, with my pelvis. And she yells at, she's like, JFW. And like, I'm doing push-ups. And she's like, what are you doing on the floor? It's no wonder you don't have a girlfriend. Like right in front of everybody, that's the kind
snap.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff she would yell. Just, she'd just yell these horrible things at people all day long. She was a great programmer, and like she could spot a cue instantly, but man, she had a temper and just loved to yell.
Scott, you're like the nicest, like genuinely like nicest person that I think I know. How did you handle that type of treatment?
She said something nasty to me one time, one time. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's certain things, but she crossed the line one time, and I stopped working out, and I looked at her, and I said, we stopped it. It was like right then and there. I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Uh-oh. And you only had to give her the stern talk one time.
It wasn't really a talk. It was more like, no, we're done. I'm done.
I'm out of here if this happens.
Yeah. I mean, I played college football for 5 years. My coaches abused me.
Of course.
Abused everyone on the team. And it was just like, that was just kind of built, and you could take it. I never had a woman speak to me that way.
Interesting.
What was a little challenging at times.
What was weird about those times, though, and this is what's, looking back on it, it feels really special, but it was just weird. Like, was working out. I was in my early 40s, and Scott had just started, and then Regina's husband, Travis, who went on to finish second as a Masters at the games, and Julie Fouché was there, and her husband is, fit as can be. And so I'd come walking in and be all these guys working out, and I had no clue, these were some of the fittest people on the planet, particularly, Scott and Julie. And then all of a sudden, the games like starts happening, and you guys start winning stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this isn't normal. Like, it just seemed normal to me. I just thought I was like the most unfit person ever. And comparatively I am, but still it was like, you just think that's normal behavior until all of a sudden you realize it isn't, So it was really kind of a special time as, CrossFit was growing and changing, and it was fun.
And I think having us all out there, like Travis was an absolute beast. And then Julie, like, popping in. Danny was on a team at the time. So, like, you just see like tons of people just kind of like pushing like each other every day. And like, just, you see somebody do something, you're like, oh man, I want to be able to do that too. And you just thought that was normal. And I thought that was normal. I mean, that was before my first year competing at the games. I didn't know any better. I think Julie had been there before, and Travis had been like very close to qualifying, I think, in our region the year before. Just kind of like an OG in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been around for a long time.
Well, and then we went to regionals. That year was in Columbus, and that was the year you finished fifth at regionals.
What year was that?
It would have been 2012. Is that right?
2012, yeah, because we had 2 pass game champions with Graham and Rich. So they took 5, and I got the last spot to go to the games that year. I remember the chipper had 3 ring muscle ups at the end, and I had to like break them into singles, I think. Or maybe, I think singles. Like, I was, crazy.
So, Nikki, I've got pictures from this. I'll send you so you can see them. I have pictures of him
please.
rubbing Saxon's head when Saxon was like 12. It's so funny.
Wearing my Gabriel Brothers, Gabriel Brothers clothes.
I don't understand, looking back, my gosh, how far have we come, in the sport, just with your family, when we were talking to your brother on the podcast a few weeks ago. I think you did send me one picture of them when they were younger or something.
I got a picture of me holding both of them in my arms like this.
Such a good one.
I was like, I feel like I've known you guys since you were this big. It doesn't make sense to me. And I feel that way about now, some of the teen athletes that are in the mix with all the elites. I'm like, I have known you since you were itty bitty, since you were pubescent. It's
yes.
I don't think Scott's ever been itty bitty. I'm telling you, he's always been 40 to me.
No, that's
always.
And Scott, I only knew you as fit monster athlete, Scott. So that's different.
College Scott would have a head or a bandana and
my very first event at regionals, Diane, I wore a bandana. I took 30th, and I was like, well, I'm throwing the bandana away. It's bad luck. I'm not badass enough to wear one, so.
Ask his brothers. They won't wear headbands either. They say it's bad juju.
We say it's
Stop
bad.
it.
So they'll every once in a while they'll throw one on to see if it has changed. But most of the time, if they're wearing a headband, it's because they don't want sweat to drop in their eye. But it's not.
Yeah, I've only worn it a couple times, and I've gotten over. I'm not very superstitious, but I did wear it during a chipper the one year at regionals, and I missed 7 times on a set of 100 double unders. And I was like, God, juju right here.
Did you take it off?
I almost took it off. I was like, what's happening right now? It's the headband.
Oh, that's so awesome. But it has been fun to watch you grow up through the sport as an adult, and then now watching your brothers come up. It's been really exciting. It was interesting to me as kind of an insider is seeing how similar all of you guys are, but how different you all are as well. I think people just assume like, oh, it's another Panchik. They're just like, the greatest DNA on the planet, and they don't get to see like, and you guys do have superhuman DNA.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
I don't want to discount that, but
yeah.
I mean, Kristen's baby's going to be doing muscle ups before me, but
yeah,
but the the truth is, you all have the one thing you all have in common is this incredible work ethic. Like I'm impressed you're telling me you're actually taking some time off, because I mean bluntly, I don't believe
he's not. He thinks he is, but he's not.
I'm like resting. I was getting some like elbow pain a little bit during elbow and like shoulder pain. We did these like pack muscle ups at Wadapalooza, and I should not have done that. I will say it right now. I thought it was such a dumb movement. If you want to put it on somebody, then at least put it on their front, especially if they're doing something like a muscle up. I was nervous to do them to begin with, and I ended up like tweaking my shoulder a little, and then the pain started coming down in my elbow. And so like I am definitely taking a little bit of time off. And like I was obviously like I competed that weekend and was fine, and came back and was ready and prepared to go to the West Coast Classic as well. But just trying to heal that up, and just I want to feel good. I don't like little aches and pains like that. Those usually can lead to something worse. Like it's okay to be uncomfortable, but in pain like that, yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that.
But he's still a workwork. Like just
I'm training around it. I'm definitely
he's training around it, but like his like prehab is like still no joke.
So,
I'm getting better on the bike and runner, which is good. Those are like 2 movements that
is not taking it easy.
Well, that has nothing to do with my elbow or shoulder.
There it is. Okay, there it is.
I'm crushing my lower body. My lower body's getting crushed. What I mean by taking it easy, I'm not allowed to do everything that I normally do.
You just crank it up on all the other things that you're not doing.
I've cranked up the squatting. And,
of course.
See, Nikki, he gets this from his dad. His dad's an animal, like an absolute animal. I think it was like maybe a year ago, you guys had all gone to the games or something, or gone somewhere, and you left your dad behind to coach a class. And I will never, and I repeat, never go to another Papa Pan-led class because the warm-up is worse than the workout. I swear to God, the warm-up was like 20 minutes long, and we're doing, I don't know, it was like running the rigs, and we're doing ab work and push-ups, and like by the time I got done, I was exhausted. I'm like, what are you doing to us? And he's just smiling and laughing, just, his normal self, just having fun.
Evil.
He used to, when I was a kid, my brother Steve and I, he made us run to the ice rink with our sticks above our head.
No, stop it.
I kid you not. I can't remember if it was like I don't think we weren't in trouble or anything. He was just like challenging us, like training, like him and my brother Steve and I played hockey together, and we ran from our house. It was like a couple miles all the way to the rink with our sticks above our head, like just random things. Like I remember distinctly training for a 5K race and like training with him for a 5K. There was a YMCA triathlon that we did every year, and we practiced going from the swim into the bike and the transitions in our driveway, where we would like pretend to paddle all the way up and then we'd run, paddle back down, and then we'd like, get into our clothes, put our helmets on. We had like the little shoes that like you just slip right on that
yes.
like is just your spandex, and you pop on your bike and go. And like we practiced those transitions. I lost my first year. I took second. I was on a Ninja Turtle bike.
He's still not okay.
I was so mad at my dad, and like told him, I was like, I need a big bike. Like I can't ride this Ninja Turtle bike. Like get on a 10 speed. So he got, the next year we had 10 speeds, and my brother Sean and Steve and I all won the following year. But
wait, there's another one? There's another brother?
Yeah, there's
sounds like you're just making them up as you go. There was Sean, there was Steve, there's Sam Panchik's in there. Oh yeah. my brother Sonny, he's around. Like,
yeah, that was just like who we were. I didn't realize, like, I really do think my dad and my mom like have been training us for the CrossFit Games before there was CrossFit Games. It's just like, hey, you're gonna go out and you're gonna do this. Like, I remember wrestling. I was a wrestler, and I started in like 3rd grade. And my 1st and 2nd year, like, you could go out and there was like 1st and 2nd year tournaments, and my dad would take me to those, and he would double bracket me. So he'd put me in, like, if I was at 105 pounds, he'd put me in the 105 pound bracket and then the 110 bracket. So I would be like finishing one match, and they'd be calling me for the 110 bracket, which is like up a weight class. And I would walk off one mat after just finishing it and walk right on to another match. And, you know, it was just like, I didn't know any better. That's what I thought everybody was doing.
he's like, I just really want my, you know, son to go feel what it's like to play with the big dogs for a hot minute.
Oh, well, when you're in elementary school, it's just the dads in the back. So they like walk you in the back and they're like, okay, I got, you know, my son's 105, 10 pounds. And then like another guy's like, well, my son is, you know, 115. He's been doing this for a while. Like, I can't find anyone to wrestle. Oh, my son will wrestle. Out on the mat with, you know, a guy that's 10 pounds heavier than me and wrestled 2 or 3 years longer than me. And he's just like, we'll see how he does. But
good luck, son.
get him.
Papa Pan's always been a savage, but one thing I love about him, and I think this carries over to you, Scott, like, is he's a natural coach. Like, he loves to coach. Like, you know, just talk to him and, you know, he'll just start telling me things he's seen that I've done during a workout.
Yeah, he coached 17 Panchik boys growing up. So
yeah, but he's
girl, right? Sorry.
Yeah,
I have a sister too.
Yeah. But he's also incredibly positive. Like, I had never experienced positivity in CrossFit until I went to Mentality. Like, I started at Distinction, and we had that coach that was really mean to us. And I did that for 4 or 5 years. I took a year off and worked out at home, and then went back to Distinction for a short while. But like, I think there's a spirit that has never left Distinction, and it's a fine gym, but it still kind of has that kind of aggressive feel to it, right? And so then I go to Mentality, and like the first day I'm there, the workout starts on time, it ends on time, the coaches are involved, they're telling you what you're doing wrong, but they're also spending time telling you what you're doing right. And like, I'd never experienced positivity before in a workout. I'm like, is this the way it's supposed to be? Is this right?
What?
You know?
People
And
are
then
nice.
and then I met your dad, and I could instantly see, like, because that's him. Like, he's just super positive. He's a great coach, but he's really positive and upbeat, and really takes an interest in you. And to your credit, Scott and Christin, I think you guys have carried that over into your gym, and I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, I hope you have. It's also carried over to Cliffside, and every coach has moved through both of those gyms. It's just that kind of overwhelming positivity. You know, I wish there were a way to bottle that, and you guys could get out to all the other affiliates so they could understand. I know there are a lot of affiliates like that, but I think there are a lot that aren't. And, you know, the community, you know, we do benefit by what you guys are doing, but I think the community at large would really benefit by the spirit you guys have created.
And thank you. I appreciate that. And I really do credit that to, like, you know, I learned a lot of that from my parents growing up. And like, that is like I said, my dad didn't force me to run with a stick above my head. Like, if I would have been like, no, and went inside, like, it would have been fine. I wanted to. And like, I think it was just like the same thing that you're saying, like it's all like learned behavior. Like, I learned how to be that person and to be that athlete at a very young age. And I think all of those things kind of carried along. And then, like, you know, with a big family, your siblings start to observe those things, and they just, that's what you're supposed to do. That's how you're supposed to work out. That's, you know, you said you're like, you guys just work so hard, and it's like, my brothers don't know any better. Like, that's, right. You know, I've been sending them programming, you know, 2012 when Regina was doing my programming, and Regina got me to the CrossFit Games. Like you said, she was a great coach. She had a little bit of a different mentality and approach than, you know, what I've seen in the past from some people. But She taught me a lot, and she was a great, programmer. But I was sending those guys programming all the way up to until they moved out here in 2013. So they don't know any better. They come in every day and they're like, hey, what are we doing today? And there is nothing better than having training partners who walk in every day and are just like, I'm not sore. What do you want to do today?
Yeah.
And I really truly believe that, a big part of why I was excited about the sport was just like being surrounded by people like that. Like I've always found ways to surround myself with people that are positive on a regular basis, bring a great attitude, and want to work hard.
Yeah.
And I think that has led me to, eventually it got started to get very competitive, which, at a certain point, like we were getting to the point and they branched off and opened their gym, but it was going to get unhealthy because they were able to beat me, and, weights were getting similar, and like that's where you're competing on a regular basis. But for a long time, we were able to scale and modify things where it was healthy, and nobody was really walking away feeling bad, but we were working hard together to become the best we could. So I think we all learned that behavior, whether it was like me learning from my dad, the boys learning it from me learning it from my older brother. You just learn how to work hard and how to spread that positivity and be that person. And, that's what we try to do. It mentality is just,
Our community sees it too. So
For sure.
we all see it in like them as athletes and coaches and owners, and they set the tone, and everybody's always watching. And it's kind of like that ripple effect where it's like, this is how it's supposed to be done. Like our community does the same thing now. Like they're positive, they are hardworking, and they don't know any different.
Better, yeah.
And that's, I think, what is so unique and special about both communities. I mean, mentalities like that, cliff sides like that, it starts from the top, and these guys have done a really good job of setting that standard, and it's just a really awesome environment to be a part of, that like positive, hardworking people.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
to
totally
be fair, you set the standard too, Kristen.
Yeah, you do.
When
It
I
comes
got
from the top of both of you.
Yeah. When I got my first muscle up, I'd gotten one, and Saxon's like, all right, do another one. Cause he was the one that taught me to do it. And Kristen's like, wait, and she ran and got a camera, and I'll never forget that. Like, it's cause it wasn't just Saxon getting me there. It was like, you had a camera and Saxon was doing it, and other coaches were getting around and like, all right, go ring the bell. Like it was like a community thing, and getting one muscle up didn't change my life, but like that moment is now ingrained in my mind of like a really special CrossFit event. And you think of like the hundreds of people that have done that through your gym over the years. Like you can't measure that in dollars. Like it's just, it's just immeasurable.
Kristen was the only reason I ate on the final day of the Italian Showdown. I don't know if you know that. We were running around, and like competition had just wrapped, and it was like
I taught her how to feed people.
You remember that? It was like a really weird event for me, because I was not doing there was no live stream, but I was like still doing interviews, but I was also like shooting all my own footage and cutting all my own footage. And it was like the weirdest day ever, where like 14 hours went by and I hadn't eaten.
Yes.
And we were like wrapping the event, and Kristen was like, I have all of these packets of beef jerky. Would you like them? And I was like, yeah, I haven't eaten in a day, actually. Thank you so much. It was like all I ate all day, so thanks.
You got it. That's my job. I just connect the dots. Like,
Perfect.
wherever you need me, that's my job.
Kristen, our first date was actually at Distinction.
It was.
No.
I didn't even know. Like, so Scott and I went to college together and had all of our classes together because we were health and phys ed majors. And he like asked me to go do a CrossFit workout. This is like post-college. I was coaching at John Carroll. And
she was a distance runner and a soccer player and ran track. And I was like, distance runners, they like to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
CrossFit hurts. She probably really liked this.
I had no idea what CrossFit was. I didn't know Scott was competing in it. I didn't know what it was. But he was like, you'd probably really like this. And I was like, okay. So I went to Distinction and did my first CrossFit workout. And I remember like walking in the doors and people being like, oh, who do you know here? I was like, oh, I went to school with Scott. And they're like, oh, he's a freak. And I was like, I mean, yeah, he was a good football player. Like, he's athletic.
I don't know. He's like,
I had gotten like set up for the workout and I still had no idea what like CrossFit was. I was like, okay, so I'm going to do overhead squats, burpees, and like knee raises. What's my set rest? Like, what do I do? And then they started to clock and I was like, oh, I'm doing all of it now.
got it. Okay, go.
Okay. But yeah, it was kind of like our first date.
Yeah.
Oh, it was meant to be.
CrossFit
That
date.
distinction bringing people together.
Cute.
Look at that.
I
Yeah.
know. Back in the day. Well, thank you guys so much for being on.
I know.
been-
It's so fun.
Super fun. I'm going to have to post a video so everybody can see this quarantine beard you have going on. It's very manly.
Amazing.
It is.
Amazing.
And look at this flow.
I know.
I told
Strong.
Spencer, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna grow out my hair. They're like, do it. We could be the flow bros.
Oh. I don't like it.
I don't know. I kind of like it. We may go with the
No.
flow, bro. Yeah.
You would. You have hair envy, though.
I do have hair. I have major hair envy. There's absolutely no doubt about that. No doubt about it.
The
Well.
flow is like getting too strong in the Brazier house. So like we ordered clippers off Amazon and I'm going to somehow become a hairstylist and clip Matt's hair. It could be real bad. If he like has to shave his head, if you see a shaved head on Instagram in the next couple of weeks, you'll know it's because I totally messed up.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point.
Well, I do my own. I'll put directions on Instagram for everyone so they'll know the proper way to get a high sheen going on up
Amazing.
here. Yes. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it. Best wishes. I'm fingers crossed for a baby girl. I'd also like to say that John Woolley's a great name for a boy or a girl. Just throwing that out there.
Doesn't start with an S.
Yeah. It's a great
Yeah.
name.
John.
Right?
Yes.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Sean
John.
Sean.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. We appreciate you guys being on. For everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will chat with you all soon.